Hello. I'm so sorry. If you came here from the last video, it is because you watched my camera die right after I pointed out that my camera's dying instead of going to go get the battery. So now we have a continuous running AC adapter in the camera. That battery cannot die, and so that will never happen again. So we're gonna get right back. We're gonna jump right back in. We are in our main tarot, our regular old tarot today. So I actually might switch tarot decks for you guys, but let's get a general consensus or a general reading for our fire signs, Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo, on what is going on. So far we had, you guys are really missing social interaction, and I totally understand that. And here we go. I almost feel like it's killing you. We have the Death card in reverse. We're going to get to that in a second, but we also have these two here. I think this might be separate, so we're going to keep that separate. But these two are in regards to what we were just talking about. Self-imprisonment here with the 8 of Swords, and the 4 of Wands is the Freedom card. So it seems like you are just like dying to get out. I feel like you feel trapped. And when I say dying to get out, I don't mean it to sound childish. I feel like that's a really, really important part of, life for you is interacting with others, is your social, what's the word I'm looking for? Your social life. Maybe it's that easy. Your social life, your friends, good times in life. I feel like right now you're kind of going through like a shadow period of the soul, is what they like to call it, where things haven't gone the way you expected them to go for a while. And in that way, everyone's going through that with COVID. But for you, I feel like your emotions are really like locked up right now. Things are changing a lot faster than you expected them to. And on top of that, like, you can't use your usual way of like diffusing your bomb in your head, if you will, by going out and enjoying yourself and enjoying life and taking it easy, having a drink, losing yourself in a good time type thing. And that hasn't happened in a while, so you haven't had your release yet. Like you've just been trapped this whole time, and you haven't had the opportunity to feel freed. I almost feel like this time period is extra detrimental for extroverts, natural extroverts. I am definitely introverted as hell, so this was definitely a different experience for me, because nobody expects to be sitting in their house for however long we were. But there was a bee flying around me, so I apologize for that pause. Just making sure it's gone. It's over there, just sniffing. So it has been genuinely different, but for people who like really look for that outside, who look for that interaction, just period, who look for connections with people in life, I feel like you are one of those people who really looks to make connections with people, to network, to hear people's stories, to learn more about people. And I feel like with that part being gone, like that part of life just not really existing the way it used to, things feel off to you. Things are different. Death and Judgment are in reverse. I feel like you haven't been able to speak, like you haven't been able to say something, and it's keeping you, it's like literally burning you up inside. This may be separate. This may have to do with someone, like you have something to say and you haven't said it in a really long time, so that may be something that is an issue. Or no, I almost feel like you have to talk to someone. Like you're feeling really lonely, really isolated, and you're just being like asked to, it would just be really helpful to have like a friend to talk to. If you have someone that you can, just randomly hit up, just randomly send a text message, and after a while of not having spoken to each other, be like, hey, what's going on, it's been forever, what's up, and send them a random meme type thing. I feel like if you have a friend like that, this is the time to reach out to them. Just reconnect with someone. Reconnect with a friend. I feel like you feel like you've lost everything at this point. Like maybe some opportunity has passed you by. I feel like you're getting older. Whoa, there it is. I heard the resonance. I feel like you feel like time is wasting. Like you're trapped. Like you're trapped here, wherever here is for you. That might be like in a job, in a relationship. It might be you solo, single, and then, the pandemic, so you can't really like reach out and make a new relationship. Or even just like, the state of the world in general. I feel like you feel really trapped in your house. And the morality card came out during the last half of this reading. So I feel like you're really juggling with yourself. Like you're doing the right thing as a citizen during the COVID pandemic and you're staying home. But you really, really miss your friends, and it's starting to make you feel lonely, isolated, over isolation. I feel like just interaction, social connection would be extremely important right now. You're not letting go of the past. Yeah, I feel like you're getting in your head really heavy during this time because you're unable to communicate with people that you used to communicate with. Maybe like a relationship has changed and you're unable to communicate with them the same way you used to. So even if you're not single, you may not have the same communication channels that you used to, is what I'm hearing. And that is really making you feel extra isolated, super isolated. Like you are ruminating about the past and you're just not letting anyone else in. I want to say a source of lack, scarcity. Like you feel like you've lost everyone. I almost feel like it's untrue that you don't have anybody, and I can't say that's a fact for everyone. So if I'm wrong, if it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. But I almost feel as if there is someone, or there are people who would like to help you, and you may not be letting them in. You might be focusing, the Queen and the King of Pentacles. I feel a really stubborn energy in the world. I feel a really stubborn energy. That might not be applicable for everyone. There may be certain, I also have the world. I'm sorry, I actually did show that, I forgot. There may be some of you who may have someone to talk to and are just being very, very stubborn and unable to reach out because of that. But I also really get the feeling that some of you may really not have that person, may feel as if they don't have that channel to speak to anyone. And this Queen of Pentacles and King of Pentacles here are like a fort that you've built around yourself, and the world kind of just insinuates that it's complete. Like you fully hermited yourself, you fully withdrawn from society, and it wasn't by your choosing. Like you just wanted to continue, letting the good times roll, and everything changed, everything locked up, and you had to build a fort to protect yourself, like to protect your inner being, your inner child. And you're here in this fort, but life doesn't live inside a tower. Life doesn't live inside a fort. There's no life in there. So you're just, paused. Life is paused. In reverse, the Hangman doesn't necessarily mean death, but it does mean a pause that isn't beneficial to you. Or it can, excuse me. It also can mean, an unwillingness to accept a pause that's being brought onto you. So maybe you are being called to meditate now. Maybe you're being called to be reflective within yourself. But if you continue to see it as at a detriment, if you continue to see what you don't have, or the people that you miss, or the life that you miss, the fun times that you miss, the loud music, all of that, if you continue to see that and that you don't have it anymore, like the lack of, you won't be able to see anything else. Because it's true. It is true. There are no crazy festivals happening right now. There's no concert. That seems shallow, and I'm not trying to, downplay anything. It is true that life is completely different now. But this might be a blessing for you. There might be a reason for this. Is what this whole spread is telling me. Like there might be a reason that's just beyond your realm of knowledge to know. It's beyond your grasp. to understand. You feel me? Like God is doing this for a reason, and you're being forced to look at yourself, to reflect, and stop, to plan your next moves, to plan ahead. The Page of Swords as well. This is the fire sign reading, right? Yeah. This is the Sagittarius card. So you're in your bag. You're in your bag. This is the Philosopher card as well. Do some research before moving ahead. And I want to say that in a way of like, plan out your life. Like, think about what you want your life to look like now. Because it doesn't look the way it used to, you're being called to make something new. Start over. I feel like you're having a really hard time without being able to be your happy, normal social self. That doesn't mean you can't be happy. Social media isn't necessarily, you know, bringing us together, but it can be used to do so. So I would say reach out to people. If you are looking, you know, if you're looking to make those connections again, reach out. You're not alone. And you are, let me stop for a second. You are not the only person during this pandemic who thinks that, who feels that way. We're all separated, y'all. We are all separated. And we all are longing to be back together, to be back into, like, you know, a unified community that's safe and healthy. But things are crazy right now. It's a whole pandemic. I digress. We have all kinds of craziness on this thing right here. There's only 5 cards, but they're crazy. We have the Strength and the Devil. So here's our, you know, finishing advice here. The Strength and the Devil. We also have the King of Swords. So the Strength and the Devil and the King of Swords is literally discernment of, you know, your attachments, of your addictions, of everything that has been plaguing you. You have the strength to do it, and you're being called and asked to break these chains that don't actually exist. The Devil is a card of self-imprisonment. And I feel like you feel really trapped and isolated in this time, but you're much freer than you think, is what I would say. Use your discernment to acknowledge the offers that are being presented to you, the brand new opportunities that the world is bringing. The Magician is in reverse as well. So where you would normally take fiery action, as our fire signs would, you're asking to pause. They're asking you to pause. To become the person that you need to be is what I'm hearing. Can we ask what else that we can do? The Emperor and the Magician in upright. Oh my goodness. Okay. Stability. I think you're being called, for some of you, you may be being called to build stability within yourself. The Emperor is also the Ram, the Aries energy. So you guys are all here, present and accounted for. Strength in reverse just popped out as well. And I'm putting these cards right under where they are because everything is coming out exactly the same, just in reverse. So you're being called to rebuild yourself from the ground up. The Emperor needs to rebuild his kingdom, is what I'm hearing as well. Like, you might not feel as if you have the strength to do this, but you do. The Strength came out in reverse in this more subdued deck, but to start us off, Strength came out up top. So you have the strength to do this, to break your own chains. Very, very significant is what I was about to say. Very important. Justice. You have to take accountability for your life. Pardon all of the, you know, the motorcycles. It's the weekend. You have to take accountability for your own life. I see a lot of indecision here as well. I see picking up what was dropped, what was lost. We have the 10 of Pentacles here as well. You're on your way towards your North Node. You're on your way towards your destiny, towards your life. And this whole change, this isolation here was one of the stops on the way, is what I'm hearing. You're being asked to rebuild, to restart. The Emperor is society. The Emperor is sturdiness, is rules and regulations, but in a way that makes sure no one, you know, dies. Rebuilding routines. It's a fatherly figure. Take the time to feel this new phase out is what I'm hearing. Take the time to feel how you feel and to document that and see what that means for you in the future. See who you are now is what I'm hearing as well, and move from there. It's a new start. Don't sit down and refuse to participate is the best way that I can describe that. Don't sit down and refuse to participate. The Tower, the Two of Cups, and the Three of Wands in reverse is our finishing message here. Don't refuse to participate. The Tower is falling. Let it fall. Let things change. Communication is different. Life is different. But don't be afraid to move forward. Don't be afraid to venture out. Don't be afraid to try new things. Although it's not a physicality right now, you might not be able to travel the way you want. You might not be able to move the way you want. That is purely physical, love. There's the message for tonight. It is purely physical. Just because you cannot physically go somewhere does not mean that your spirit and your heart and your soul can't take a journey in themselves. So maybe take the time to learn something new. Challenge yourself, experiment with new things. But this isolation time is here to stay for the moment, and it's here for you. It's here to better you. It's here for your benefit, not for your detriment. I love you. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to hop right into the last reading here, but best to you. Blessings to you. It'll all be okay. You're not alone.